let's get into the robot rundown. And one of our favorites, Travis Kalanick, who is founder of Uber, has been in robots for a while now, just quietly working away. What's he been up to?
Yeah, so Travis, Uber founder, got ousted, decided to stay in an adjacent industry, or at least to Uber Eats, by building a company called Cloud Kitchens. They're on a mission to automate food production and food delivery and become, I guess, the infrastructure layer for food. And I saw a post from him. He's back on X. He hasn't been on. So that's exciting. Obviously something big's happening. But the post that he talked about is something that we've actually talked about a bit, Scotty. And when it comes to humanoids versus specific robots for specific tasks and how that's going to fit into society. So we've talked about this a lot, especially with regards to the home. Do you want a humanoid in your home, or do you want a bunch of little robots doing little tasks, or do you want a combination of both? And this is a really sleek video from Travis saying that some tasks aren't meant for humanoids, and he's showing you a fully automated way of assembling and bagging food that can do 300 bowls of, these sushi bowls or whatever they are an hour, and with all these little robots. So, yep, you could probably have humanoids walking around doing things. But I think what's interesting about this is he's taking the play of don't necessarily fit in to existing architectures. The analogy for the home is like, rather than building a normal home and putting a humanoid in to do human tasks, he's saying redesign the whole thing, like Elon does with his manufacturing, redesign from first principles. And he's showing how well you can manufacture something and what kind of speed you can get by just having these very specific robots for specific tasks. It's almost going back to traditional manufacturing, but thinking from first principles. So I thought that was a really cool video. And funnily enough, watching this video it looked very similar to the announcement from Blake Scholl at Boom and their turbines that they've done. I think they've used the same videographer to capture it. But how do you think that what's your mental model for humanoids versus specific robots for specific tasks?
And then I suppose one of the other things, like talking about humanoids versus point solutions, there's this Ongo company that you've picked up on this week, and I think you just really like the ad because it it looked like Toy Story. But tell us a bit about them, and then about this market of point solution robotics, desktop robotics, just all the different little businesses are going to pop out in this space.
Yeah, some real nostalgia. Why I brought this up is actually building on a conversation we had in our pod 2 weeks ago, which was you asked if companies like Gemini can now do all the things that these vibe coding apps could do, like Lovable and Bolt and Replit, why would you need them? And my answer was, I think they're only going to exist if they niche down into certain markets. And that is also, I think that's true of many markets. I think it's going to be true of the robotics market. So I think that you're going to have your big players, your Teslas with Optimus, whether it's Figure, your Unitrees from China, building your humanoids. And they're going to be general purpose. Jensen's getting into that space as well. You're going to have probably, your Mag 7 type companies, like your 5 to 7 big companies doing that. But then what that's going to spawn is all of these different companies being like that point solution, doing something very specific, using the tech that is being developed, the robotics tech, and so the layer that Google's building, or that NVIDIA is building around the interfaces into how you build robotics, plus with AI. And you're going to have all of these different companies. Let me just put an aggressive energy saving policy in this building. And so you're going to have all of these smaller companies coming out with very niche robots trying to do things. I believe I've already mentioned this company, but there's a company out of Melbourne actually who is building robots that they call Abby, which is for old people, as like to stop them from being lonely. And that they're built in a certain way, and they have certain things that the actual design of them is built in a way to be friendly and colorful and designed for old people. And so this Toy Story robot is a lamp that sits on your desk and it interacts with you. It's got the funny eyes. It just, I didn't even know it's meant to do it. Put light in different areas. It probably talks to you. And I think this company is going to do really well. It seems like a gimmick, but I think this type of thing is going to be one of the next 1,000 successful businesses that are taking robotics to a new level with those niches. So while maybe this is just a fad, and maybe it's even fake news, I didn't really look into the video that much, I do think that this is going to happen. And it's kind of like when we talk about these big wars between the big companies, are they just going to dominate and kill all the startups? It's the rising tide lifts all boats. It's this new way, this new era. I think there's going to be so many different companies that spawn from the technological revolution that is AI and robotics.
Yeah, and it gets you to thinking, well, what else is in the home already? So, your Legos, Barbie, all the other, but then also furniture, like you've got 8 Sleep now. So it's like, when do you plug in this intelligence layer and this robotics layer to what stuff is already in the home? And are you going to see some of those businesses making acquisitions? So basically, like we've seen plug AI into the commercial space, and now when you start plugging it into the domestic space, what's that going to look like? So I agree, super exciting, and it's also cool. We try to talk about the bigger level things like data centers in space here, but it's going to be cool just having cool little products that are going to be on the shelf for $150. Take them home, and have something physical that's got some technology in it.